Is your kitchen looking sad these days? Are you tired of looking at that old, dated bathroom? From rooftops to those unsightly holes in the walls, Complete Contracting has got you covered. Call 405-676-0595 today to schedule an estimate. Once again, that number is 405-676-0595. And remember, Complete Contracting has the contracting expertise for all your renovation and repair needs.
Increase in state funding for next fiscal year for a total of $141.4 million. Thanks to a quicking Tecumseh boy, a suspected robber is in custody. Police say they responded to a Family Dollar on Sunday night after a young boy who was there during the robbery was able to run to the bathroom.
The new top 10 reasons to shop at Carter Chevrolet. Number 10.
Our downtown location.
Number 9.
Trevor's Famous Pretzels. I'm Trevor.
Number 8.
Fried Chicken Fridays.
Woo! Love me some Haitians. Number 7.
A plethora of dad bods.
Okay. Number 6.
Big city dealers are still the worst.
Boy, you ain't lying. Number 5.
Our non-existent showroom.
It's true. They don't even have one. Number 4.
Stuff made out of license plates.
Trevor and his hobbies. Number 3.
The Carter Bago.
That there is an RV, Clark. Number 2. Our amazing voice guy. Finally, recognition. Hashtag blessed. And the number 1 reason to shop at Carter Chevrolet.
More sales guys in shorts.
Well, there you have it. 10 newish reasons to buy your next vehicle from Carter Chevrolet in Okarche. Making friends, selling cars in that order. Chevrolet. Find new roads. Carter Chevrolet. OK.com.
NHL star Matt Martin for American Humane.
I've had my fair share. It's not always the injuries you can see that hurt the most. Every single day, 184 veterans are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. When medications and therapy don't help, professionally trained service dogs can. American Humane has created a free guide to help veterans obtain these life-saving animals. For help, please go to AmericanHumane.org.
From high above the Northwest Expressway in Oklahoma City, in a flashing object resembling a UFO, it's the Todd Tucker Show on 1640 The Eagle.
He's just made in America.
I, J. Kevin Stitt, do solemnly swear.
I, J. Kevin Stitt, do solemnly swear.
That I will support, obey, and defend.
That I will support, obey, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma.
And the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma.
And that I will not knowingly receive.
And that I will not knowingly receive.
Directly or indirectly.
Directly or indirectly.
Any money or other valuable thing.
Any money or other valuable thing.
For the performance or non-performance.
For the performance or non-performance.
Of any act or duty pertaining to my office.
Of any act or duty pertaining to my office.
Other than the compensation allowed by law.
Other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear.
I further swear.
That I will faithfully discharge my duties.
That I will faithfully discharge my duties.
As governor of the great state of Oklahoma.
As of the great state of Oklahoma.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
J. Kevin Stitt, 28th governor of Oklahoma. And there you go. The Todd Tucker Show is on 608-4377, 405-608-4377. If you want to be on the show, Frosty watched with me yesterday.
I did.
He got annoyed at the bands, though.
There's so many bands. Why do they need 7,000 bands?
It's an inauguration, Frosty. It's a party.
It's not. That wasn't a party.
It's a get together. It's a celebration.
That was bureaucracy.
It's something that only happens every 4 years. We inaugurate a governor.
Well, the thing that got me is like, okay, so we're coming in here. We've got the choir, all right? The choir of grown people has to sing.
Mm-hmm. That's not what you called them on the air when we were not on the air, but yeah.
Old farts got to sing.
Yeah,
choir
right.
of old farts. As soon as they're done, we have a moment of respite. As soon as that's done, we got to have the two younger people come in, a boy and a girl with a guitar to sing how much they love America, okay? After that, there's the Star Spangled Banner, okay? And then after that, we start the presentation, which is just everything.
Right.
As we're doing that, we have to have the military band play Hail to the Chief 4 times.
They didn't play Hail to the Chief. They played Ruffles and Flourishes.
And then we have to play taps.
They did not play taps.
They played taps.
They did not play taps?
They absolutely played taps.
Why would they play taps?
Because we were making jokes about how I played taps on the air a couple years ago.
I think that was during a news story or something before.
No, they played taps. I'm sure they did. Maybe they didn't, but I was sure I heard that. And then we got to go through the whole thing. And then we have to inaugurate the governor. Then we have to sing Oklahoma. And then we have to have the National Guard shoot
Well, you were
guns.
singing along with Oklahoma.
Yeah, but it's still
They're
annoying.
We're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's the one everyone's going to sing. But all the rest of them were unnecessary and too much.
You wouldn't do the Star Spangled Banner.
Well, the Star Spangled Banner, you can't get away with that. But I don't need to hear Hail to the Chief 7 times. I don't need to hear, the young couple playing
Frosty,
How Much We Love America.
Can I tell you something?
What?
Hail to the Chief is only played for the president.
Hail to the Governor is played more than enough
Ruffles
time.
and Flourishes. That's Ruffles and Flourishes.
I don't.
And that precedes Hail to the Chief when the president's coming in.
I mean, I don't really. They play too many songs. Too many songs.
We've got some parts of the governor's inauguration speech from yesterday. Mary Fallon was sitting there going, ha, ha, you're not going to have me to kick around anymore. I am out of here. Peace out, yo.
I'm free.
I wonder if that, they hugged each other after he gave his inaugural speech before he departed. And I wonder if when they exchanged that hug, if she was like, it's all yours now, buddy.
Get out. According to some random number on my cell phone that just texted me, they did play taps.
Oh, I think maybe it was in memory of somebody.
I don't know. People come and go.
All right.
I knew they played taps.
Okay. Well, I was wrong. You were right.
Yes.
I do know we talked about taps yesterday. I do remember that part.
Sweet vindication.
Okay. Nothing like being vindicated, right?
Yes.
So the governor gave his inauguration speech. We'll play some parts of it here. It's kind of lengthy, so we're not going to do it before we go into the break, but we'll do it after the break here on the Todd Tucker Show. By the way, can I just say that I'm irritated this morning, and may I say why?
No.
I cannot say why?
No, you can't say why.
Oh, I forgot. I thought this was the Todd Tucker Show. I'm sorry.
I know what you're going to say, and you probably shouldn't say it. But no, say whatever you like, sir.
My neighbors made noise all night long. Frosty, what time do I get up? About 3:45.
You're usually about
4 o'clock.
4 a.m.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, why would somebody be vacuuming?
On a Monday night?
On a Monday night? Why would they be banging around and making my dogs bark?
You need to get some earplugs, man.
I'm not one of the... I would sleep with a fan on high. But it's like when people are going boom, boom, boom above your head, and then you hear...
Our
the vacuum
technicians
cleaner.
and team of
maybe
people
they spilled
think
something.
of Granger
I don't know.
first, usually when
But
they're
it was right
looking
above
for
my head.
something because of that.
And I just wanted to say, if you live above somebody, don't be rude. Don't be rude. Don't be rude.
Did you call, management?
I did.
Did you let them know what's up?
I let them know I'm moving the hell out of there. That's what I let them know. I let them know I'm transferring to another place. That's exactly what I let them know. I'm irritated. No sleep, except I came in here. Actually, it wasn't 2 o'clock this morning. It was about 12:30 when they were vacuuming, because about 1:30 I got up here to the station. and started working on audio and stuff. And then I ended up taking a little power nap on the couch outside the boss's office for about 30 minutes or so before you got here. I just awakened when you got here.
Nice.
But it doesn't make you feel good when you've got to get up at the butt crack of dawn. And I just wish I lived above them in the morning so I could just go boom, boom, boom. I banged on the ceiling at them.
Did you really?
I did. I was angry. Does anybody else have this problem? I mean, it's like, don't be rude. There's no need for that. You don't have to make noise. I live in between people, okay? I live on the second floor, and I try to be really quiet for the person that lives on the first floor because I do go to bed early, but I do get up early as well. So I try to make sure I don't stomp around.
Stomp around. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had to go off for a second because I'm just cranky.
It's okay, buddy.
I'm a cranky Todd. We're going to take our first commercial break, coming back with Governor Stitt's inaugural address here on the Todd Tucker Show. Our phone number, 405-608-4377, 405-608-4377. Back right after this on most of this radio station, 1640, the Rock and Roll Eagle, KZLS. Hey everybody, Todd Tucker here, and everyone who knows me knows I love to read a great book, and right now I'm reading this incredible novel by local author Richard Engel. All you have to do is go to LastAmericanPresident.com and say big right now on this book. The Last American President is a story about political intrigue, romance, betrayal set against the backdrop of the dissolution of the United States of America. It's great reading, and when you go to LastAmericanPresident.com, LastAmericanPresident.com, use the promo code OTU, you're going to save money. And not only that, but half the price comes back to OTU. So half the proceeds from this book come back so you can watch great programming like you see on the OTU Media Network every day. LastAmericanPresident.com. I highly recommend this book. Read it today.
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula with 17 essential supplements. When it matters most, you've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
Lawmakers had about $7.6 billion to work with this fiscal year. But now the state is projecting Oklahoma will have $8.2 billion to work with next year. So the question remains, how will lawmakers spend that extra $612 million?
This is not a blank check. This is not something that you can just come in and say, hey, how can we fund our different pet projects?
Governor-elect Kevin Stitt urged caution as he's getting ready to put together his first budget.
Good morning, everybody.
At Wednesday's Board of Equalization meeting, state leaders touted a strong U.S. economy as well as higher tax collections from the oil and gas industry after lawmakers changed the gross production tax from 2% to 5%.
Obviously, if commodity prices go down, that's the reason we need to have a very tight savings plan.
We want to reduce class sizes, so that's where our focus is going to be.
Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister will be asking for a $3.3 billion budget, more than $400 million more than Common Education had last year. When asked about the possibility of teacher pay raises,
it could be, but our focus is going to be on ensuring we have more operational dollars into the classroom.
At the state capitol, Brett Bagansky, KOCO 5 News.
Over 20 years ago, Alex Jones created the media platform called InfoWars, and in the decades since, it's grown into a truly remarkable institution with over 200 radio affiliates, tens of millions of unique website visitors monthly, and a 24/7 live news TV channel broadcasting from state-of-the-art studios in Austin, Texas. InfoWars.
Welcome back. Todd Tucker's on 405-608-4377, 405-608-4377. Yesterday, J. Kevin Stitt became the 28th governor of the great state of Oklahoma. And this morning, I cut up some audio of his inauguration address. It was not a real long inaugural address, actually. It was fairly short.
Yeah.
So I got about 10 minutes worth in here. And I cut out some of the crowd and some of that so that you'd have an opportunity to kind of get substance of the message. There are some things that just due to time that I had to cut out. But here is Kevin Stitt, the governor of Oklahoma, yesterday in his inaugural address, his first inaugural address before the people of Oklahoma.
My great privilege to introduce the Honorable J. Kevin Stitt, 28th governor of the great state of Oklahoma.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Please have a seat. Thank you, Corbin. Thank you, Pro Tem Greg Treat, Speaker Charles McCall, and members of the legislature. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell, and congratulations to all statewide elected officials. I look forward to rolling up my sleeves and working with you on the important tasks we have ahead to make Oklahoma a top 10 state. Honored guests, friends, and my fellow Oklahomans, it is with deep gratitude and thanks to my Heavenly Father and with determination in my heart that I stand before you today. You see, I'm a pretty typical Oklahoma son, like so many of you. I moved around a little bit as a kid. I attended first grade in Wayne, Oklahoma, population 700. And then I graduated from Norman High School. I spent many summers in Skiatook helping my grandparents on their dairy farm. And I spent Sundays in church listening to my dad preach. My dad raised me and my two brothers to believe we could do anything we put our minds to. He would tell us, don't ever give up. Don't ever quit. The future doesn't just happen, you make it happen. So dream big. These words have echoed in my mind through many sleepless nights over the past 20 years while building an Oklahoma company with my wife and raising our family that we love dearly. It wasn't easy. We took great risks as a family. We made hard decisions. We sacrificed. We weathered difficult times, and we learned from each other, from our employees, and from our community. 2 years ago, the idea of running for governor was still just a small mustard seed. I traveled the country visiting my offices in other states, seeing their economies take off and thrive. They were recovering from our nation's historic recession. I would then come home to the state that I love to find us struggling, stuck at the bottom in every category that matters. And we don't have to relive the past few years. Everyone was touched by it. But it was this environment that caused me to reach deep and ask, what more can I do to make a difference, to address a pattern seen throughout our state history, from the Dust Bowls of the 1930s to the oil glut of the 1980s, where we have lived for each boom and we've starved in each bust. Like you, I was frustrated. Like you, I am motivated. I see untapped potential. I see opportunity. I see great men and women around me. I see promises to be kept. I see jobs. I see progress. I see a top 10 Oklahoma. I know it's possible because I spent the past 18 months traveling the state, listening to Oklahomans in all 77 counties, holding more than 300 town halls, knocking on the doors of strangers, and learning the platform and the mandate that Oklahomans wanted for their next governor. Here's what I heard. We know we can be and should be a top 10 state. Why? Because we are Oklahoma, proud of our hardworking, God-fearing people. It is because of Oklahoma's work ethic that in Lawton, one of Goodyear's largest tire manufacturing facilities in the world is located. that American Airlines has its largest maintenance and repair facility in the world in Tulsa, that we are the birthplace of companies like Quick Trip, Hobby Lobby, and Sonic. It's because of Oklahoma's work ethic that our farmers and ranchers are the top 5 in the nation in the production of beef cattle, wheat, canola, cotton, and pecans. We are Oklahoma, proud of our natural resources, from abundant water in the east to oil, natural gas, and wind energy that stretches across the west. It's this entrepreneurial spirit and innovation with our resources that allowed Oklahoma to play a leading role in making America energy independent. In Oklahoma, we are number 4 in oil production, number 3 in natural gas production, and number 2 in wind energy production. We are Oklahoma, proud of our abundant land and our central location of the United States. It's what makes us home for a booming aerospace industry, 5 thriving military bases, and the largest, most inland river port in the nation with the Port of Catoosa. It's this pride that will allow us to move forward together, not as Republicans or Democrats, but as Oklahomans, locked hand in hand, arm in arm. And to that, we must ask, what is it going to take to get this turnaround started? Are we ready to look each other in the eyes and honestly say, we got this. We can do this together. I am. But for us to be successful, I need you to join me. State government is not the answer to all of our problems. We must get involved in our schools, in our churches, in our neighborhoods, in our local nonprofits, to diagnose and solve the unique challenges county by county, so that no one person falls through the cracks, because every life in Oklahoma is worthy of our respect and help. And I know that working together, we will be a top 10 state. And as I begin serving today as your next governor, let me tell you where Oklahoma's turnaround starts for me: accountability. It starts today by demanding accountability in our state government. In this administration, we're going to get to the bottom of every tax dollar spent. We're going to ensure every dollar matches the values and visions of Oklahoma becoming a top 10 state. We will bring Oklahoma fully into the digital age and maximize our services while creating an efficient process that allows us to do it at the lowest possible cost.
Governor Kevin Stitt yesterday, his inaugural address, the 28th governor of the state of Oklahoma, and it was a feel-good speech, I thought.
Feel good.
Frosty, what were your thoughts? Well, you watched it with me.
I did. He hit all the right points. I mean, I gotta say, just as a general thing, and I am warming up to Stitt very quickly. Like he does, he seems like he's gonna try very hard and do his best job he can. Mm-hmm. So I feel for the guy. I appreciate him now. Doesn't he look kind of goofy?
No, he just doesn't look polished like a politician.
He just, I love it. He just comes out.
You know what the women say about him?
What?
Oh, he's so handsome.
He's so handsome.
My sister told me yesterday, she lives in Texas. She said, you've got such a handsome governor.
He's not 100-year-old man.
And he's got a beautiful wife, and he's got such beautiful children.
He does, and he has 6 kids.
Yeah, 6 kids. Frosty always tried to give him 7.
I'm going to bet money that we're going to make it to 8 while he's in the governor's mansion.
I think he's probably
That's going to be like the yearly
Mrs.
thing.
Stitt probably has something to say about that.
No. That's going to be the yearly thing. It's like, oh, no, Governor Stitt had another baby.
You know what I liked about his speech yesterday? He talked about how it begins in the community. The community, it takes a community to make things happen, such as our schools, our churches, our nonprofit organizations, just getting together and working to make it a better community, make it a better Oklahoma. And I like that. He went on to talk about teachers and education. He also addressed the criminal justice reform that we so desperately need and the over-incarceration of people here in the state of Oklahoma. So I thought Kevin Stitt hit great points. And in fact, I think it was a very diverse speech, and something that I heard even African Americans yesterday who traditionally vote Democrat and may not have supported Kevin Stitt, saying that it was a very unifying speech. And so I thought that that was a great start for Kevin Stitt. Now, will it continue? How long will the honeymoon? How long will the honeymoon last? I don't know. But I told you yesterday, Frosty, I believe that Kevin Stitt is going to end up being a very popular governor.
Probably. He probably will.
All right.
He's just an everyday Kevin.
Yes, he is. This is the Todd Tucker Show. We're back right after this on 1640 The Eagle.
The Brits love a French fashion trend, and the very latest is the yellow vest. This weekend, left-wing activists are staging a demonstration in London, demanding a general election and calling for increased public spending.
It doesn't matter which way you vote in the referendum. We need to get rid of this Tory government.
What we need now is a general election to end austerity. We'll be doing it in solidarity with the yellow vests over in France.
Everybody is going to wear these yellow high-vis jackets, which are the jacket of choice for all people trying to bring down governments.
Please do come. Please do spread the word.
But there is another British incarnation of the yellow vest trend. See if you can spot the difference.
You want a war? I'll give you a war. You ain't even British.
These yellow vests appear to be in favour of a hardcore no-deal version of Brexit. In recent weeks, they've started staging small, regular protests in Westminster, where they refer to the Prime Minister as a traitor. They've also become known for their heckling of politicians and journalists near Parliament.
Happen is we have to be absolutely... I do object to being called a Nazi, actually.
You're a disgrace. A disgrace! Feel sorry for your parents raising someone like you. You are a vile, vicious little bully.
It's now emerged that one prominent self-styled yellow vest leader is James Goddard. He's a supporter of the far-right English Defence League, posts Islamophobic comments online, and live streams a lot of his so-called political activism. Goddard uses crowdfunding to collect donations.
Hey everybody, Todd Tucker here, and everyone who knows me knows I love to read a great book, and right now I'm reading this incredible novel by local author Richard Engel. All you have to do is go to LastAmericanPresident.com and say big right now on this book. The Last American President is a story about political intrigue, romance, betrayal set against the backdrop of the dissolution of the United States of America. It's great reading, and when you go to LastAmericanPresident.com, LastAmericanPresident.com, use the promo code OTU, you're going to save money. And not only that, but half the price comes back to OTU. So half the proceeds from this book come back so you can watch great programming like you see on the OTU Media Network every day. LastAmericanPresident.com. I highly recommend this book. Read it today.
The original Yellow Vest movement mushroomed organically and spontaneously across France in response to an unpopular tax hike, whereas in a way the symbol of the Yellow Vest here in the UK is still up for grabs. The left-wing incarnation is moderate. It's aligned to groups like the People's Assembly and the Stop the War campaign, although their repeatedly stated aim is none other than bringing down the Conservative government in favour of a Labour one. Then there's the right-wing Yellow Vests, a group that on the surface just appears angry that the Brexit that they voted for could be slipping away from them, and also appears to contain members with far-right sympathies who might be donning these yellow vests in order to legitimise their views. Whatever you make of either movement, it appears that they're trying to capitalise on a French fashion, one that appeared effortless in France, but is looking a bit try-hard here in the UK.
The risk of suicide is even higher for men over 50 who served our country. Guys like me. That's why support from friends and family makes such a big difference. Every day, your actions could help save a life. Together, we got this. Learn how you can help save a life at veteranscrisisline.net.
I'm a veteran.
We hit a mine in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The Todd Tucker Show is on. Kind of sounds like a James Bond.
It's like James
movie.
Bond, but in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of rednecks. I love it.
Bunch of rednecks. 405-608-4377 if you want to be on the Todd Tucker Show today. Also, you can share what you thought of Governor Stitt's inaugural address yesterday. Also, the big party last night. He addressed the crowd at the inaugural ball. Frosty and I should have gone ahead and gone because I didn't get any sleep anyway.
Yeah, you didn't sleep at all.
No, so we might as well have gone to the party.
And I was up late too because I had to go and get my brother-in-law from the train station.
Well, so we should have just gone ahead and just gone to the inaugural ball.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you would have already been down there, downtown.
Yep.
Dang, man. Okay, we'll hit it in 4 years. How about that?
Yeah, next time.
Toby Keith played last night. Apparently, it was a great time. Great time. The Oklahoma City Philharmonic played, much to Frosty's chagrin. I'm pretty excited. I saw where at the Civic Center, they've got Gloria Estefan musical coming up. And I'm not a big musical guy, but I like Gloria Estefan's music. It brings the Latino in me out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All them years in Corpus?
Yeah. So I'm wanting to go and see that for sure. Although Gloria Estefan is Cuban. It's kind of Cuban music, but it's still, it's very, very, it's got that Latin beat. I like it.
I gotcha.
I like it a lot.
You're allowed to like music.
Like it a lot. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's long-awaited report may not be as shocking as it was once built up to be, at least according to ABC News White House correspondent Jonathan Karl. Speaking to host Little Georgie Stephanopoulos on Sunday on This Week.
Little Georgie Stephanopoulos.
Yeah, he's like 3 feet tall.
Okay.
Little Georgie. Karl said he's been told by sources close to the investigation that the report into the Russian interference in the 2016 election and any possible collusion between President Trump's campaign and Moscow is almost certain to be anticlimactic. There have been expectations that have been building for the course of over a year, Karl told Little Georgie. But people who are closest to what Mueller's been doing, interacting with the special counsel, caution me that this report is almost certain to be anticlimactic. If you look at what the FBI was investigating in that New York Times report, you look at what they were investigating, Mueller did not go anywhere in that investigation, Karl continued. He's been writing his report in real time through these indictments, and we have seen nothing from Mueller on the central question of was there any coordination, collusion with the Russians in the effort to meddle in the elections, or was there even any knowledge that the president or anyone in his campaign with what the Russians were doing. There's been no indication of that. Karl's comments come 2 days after the New York Times report that the FBI opened an investigation into whether the president was working on behalf of Russia in 2017 following the president's dismissal of former FBI Director James Comey. Trump called Fox News Jeanine Pirro and told her that this newspaper report was insulting. He says, I think it's the most insulting thing I've ever been asked. Trump told her when asked whether he had ever worked on behalf of Russia. I think it's the most insulting article I've ever had written. So it could very well be. And his attorney general designate is going to be hitting Capitol Hill today. Hearings for him are going to be underway very, very soon. Now, he was also the attorney general under George H.W. Bush, President Bush 41. So that's going to be fun to watch there on the Hill. He's not going to meet a lot of resistance, though, because he's pretty well liked by both Republicans and Democrats. Frosty, what are you going to say if it comes out and there's absolutely no collusion, no evidence that the president or anybody in the president's administration or anybody on the president's campaign staff had anything to do with Russia?
Then Mueller's corrupt. I don't know. If it comes out that way, it comes out that way. I'll just, quietly move on. Honestly, if Mueller came out and said that there's no nothing going on with collusion during this shutdown, I'll bet Trump would win the whole political battle.
You think he would win the wall?
Probably. As if he came out and said there was no Russia collusion on the Trump side, or like President Trump had nothing to do, I don't think that's what he's going to say, though. Like, it's going to be, it may come out that President Trump himself didn't have a whole lot to do with it, or maybe
or
like
anything at all.
Well, maybe he didn't get his direct hands on anything. But dude, they indicted so many people around him with jail time that there's got to be something. Even if it's minute, even if it's small and dumb and whatever, there's got to be something.
What if it's small and dumb? Should they just let it go? I mean, what if it's just something that was not, I don't think there's anything that they're going to find.
We'll see, but if it's enough to throw all these people in jail and bankrupt them from all the court cases and everything, I'm assuming it's big enough to be something. And it's not all just lying to the FBI.
But I still think that if they were going to get Trump, if there was any shred of evidence that anything that had Trump's fingerprints on it, the Democratic Congress would have already come ready for aim. I just think they would have been ready to eat him alive.
Here's what I think. And here's your unpopular opinion on the Mueller-Trump investigation.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I think that Mueller, there is something that Mueller knows that Trump is dirty on. But the thing is, Trump, I will give him credit. If this did happen, he's very smart, and his hands are not directly on anything. When they arrested his lawyer, and he flipped on him almost immediately, talking about how he's recording the conversations, doing things like that, the lawyer he had pay off money for Stormy Daniels that just got in trouble for, election fraud that they grabbed. His longtime lawyer that he immediately flipped on Twitter for being a snitch.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole that whole incident is what makes me think that Trump may have done something dirty in there, or he may have, which it's politics. Politics are dirty anyway. But I don't think if he did do something like that, he hasn't touched anything. There's nothing that can link him to it.
I think President Trump has had contact with Vladimir Putin. I think President Trump as a businessman had contact with Vladimir Putin. I don't think it had anything to do with the election. I don't think Hillary Clinton had anything to do with the Russians in the election, to be perfectly honest with you, and she's been accused as well. I mean, Mueller very well could come out and say, you know what, we found corruption on both sides. And then what? Then what do we do?
Then we keep rolling with it. I don't know if we indict the president or we impeach the president then, but something happens. So no, I still think that the Mueller investigation, when it comes out, even if it's a big dud, that's a good thing, because we went and looked at it and we said we threw as many resources as we could at this.
And millions of dollars. Millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yes, that's fine. That's a good thing. We throw millions and millions of dollars on dumber things in the government.
Well, I'm not going to argue with
really,
that.
Though? Why? I never understand why you guys get so mad about the cost of this. Like, I get it. It's coming to an end. It'll be done eventually for this. But me personally, if there's meddling on either side, if we're investigating Hillary Clinton, we're investigating Trump, we're investigating all this stuff, I want it to be thorough and done. And whenever they come out and release it, then we can make our big thing there about what, was it worth it, was it not? But I'm not going to sit here and tell you.
So what if your boy Bernie had been elected president and all this stuff was going on about him, and this investigation had been going on for his entire presidency? How would you like that? I mean, that causes some trouble.
I get it, and I mean, I'd be doing the you, where it's like, oh, this is a witch hunt and which I get it, but I'm not going to tell them not to investigate. If they think
last time I checked, it wasn't illegal to talk to Russia. I'm just saying. Okay. The last time I checked, it wasn't. I mean, if I wanted to make a phone, if Vladimir Putin were to call me on the phone, I don't think that there's anything illegal about him calling me on the phone.
Yeah, but it is a little bit of a coincidence that, Russia went to Facebook and spent all these millions of dollars doing this social engineering that was pro-President Trump. I mean, Russia as a communist country, it's a little strange they'd be pro, make America great again guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the reasonable doubt falls with a lot of people. It's not that we know that Trump orchestrated something with him, but at the same time, it's like, why on earth, of all the things they could be doing with this money and propaganda machine, would Russia be going to Facebook to support President Trump, to support candidate Trump? And that's where everyone falls in on the Mueller investigation. We don't know for sure that he did anything, but at the same time, like, that is really weird. Why on earth would a communist country be? And they proved this. Like, they went and found the Facebook post, the spoof accounts, everything, and they were going to groups and promoting President Trump stuff. And it's not that it's not that it's his fault. It's not that he orchestrated this, but at the same time, that's really weird.
Do you ever promote our show?
Yeah.
Do you tell me everybody that you promote our show to?
No, not really.
Okay. So
I don't know.
My point is, you just got through saying these people going around and campaigning for the president and making phone calls and blah, 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 blah. And I just got through asking you if you ever promote our show outside without telling me who you're talking to.
Okay. So
you don't understand. I'm saying that you're acting like the president should know everybody they talk to.
It's not, and here's the thing. It's not that they need to know everyone they talk to, but it becomes a much bigger deal when it's like the enemy of the country. Like when the communists are out here campaigning for someone, then everyone looks at it like, if one of our competing radio stations around town started promoting us all of a sudden, and they're like, oh, check out Frosty on the Todd Tucker Show. He's the best. Frosty, the best, dude, just doing everything about Frosty.
They just listen to us all the time. They don't have to promote us. They listen to us.
But if they just started promoting us out of nowhere, and we saw them all over the place throwing us stuff, it's a little different for us because we'd be like, that's weird, but I wonder why they're throwing stuff around.
My very good fellow gun-toting conservative, Lee, is watching right now.
Lee.
Yep. So say hello to Lee. Say good morning.
Hello, Lee. I don't think I've met you.
He's a great American. And he's a competitor.
Do you want to take a break?
I do want to take a break. Let's do so.
Getting into Mueller stuff.
I've been drinking lots of coffee. Trying to get some energy after my neighbors kept me up all night long.
We're gonna have some country James Bond going into break here.
All right, 405-608-4377. Back right after this on 1640, the Rock and Roll Eagle, KZLS.
That is shutdowns because Democrats will not fund border security. Right. That's just false.
Right.
What the Senate approved, Republicans and Democrats, was over $1 billion in border security. It didn't have the wall.
Right.
But it did have border security. So that's just not.
All right, let's just get something straight for the audience right now, because this is one of those things that's literally been bothering me, almost ruined my vacation. There is a barrier system all along the southern border. They need more. Anybody who does the reporting, anybody who talks to the people down there doing the work, the men and women, they need more of what the president is increasingly describing as his own idea for a bollard fence. The bollard, I'm sure they're going to see B-roll at some point tonight of what is on the border right now. It is exactly what the president is describing to you, except he's telling you it's his design. So how are the American people supposed to grasp the reality? He says, I want a new wall. There will be no new wall. The Democrats say he's never going to get his wall. But there is a wall that they have agreed to finance in the past, but they're saying they won't agree to finance a new wall.
And the Democrats are saying it's not necessary because there's other ways to attack the problem that are better. Technology.
But is that true? I have you here for that. Who says that a barrier isn't helpful in securing the border? Does anybody?
Sure. There are real arguments that barriers are helpful in certain locations in certain ways. Many experts argue that we don't need as much wall as Trump suggests. We certainly don't need a 30-foot concrete wall that he originally proposed.
That's gone. That's gone with the Mexico pay for it idea.
But is it though? We don't know. He's said on Twitter, I've never abandoned the all-concrete wall, even while saying as well that it will be a steel slat barrier.
Bet your lunch the concrete wall is gone.
Who knows?
Hey everybody, Todd Tucker here, and everyone who knows me knows I love to read a great book, and right now I'm reading this incredible novel by local author Richard Engel. All you have to do is go to LastAmericanPresident.com and save big right now on this book. The Last American President is a story about political intrigue, romance, betrayal set against the backdrop of the dissolution of the United States of America. It's great reading, and when you go to LastAmericanPresident.com, LastAmericanPresident.com, use the promo code OTU, you're going to save money. And not only that, but half the price comes back to OTU. So half the proceeds from this book come back so you can watch great programming like you see on the OTU Media Network every day. LastAmericanPresident.com. I highly recommend this book. Read it today.
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula with 17 essential supplements. When it matters most, you've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
What was the hardest car to fix this week?
The Mercedes was probably definitely most
Really?
difficult.
What do you think was so tough about it?
All Mercedes, the glue, you can't get it in between there, and the braces, you just can't cut through it. You gotta, most times, just find a different route.
What did Anthony think about the Mercedes?
Oh, Anthony hates Mercedes.
How long did it take you to pick up like the R&I portion of it?
I did a lot of like stereo equipment and stuff like that, so I took a lot of parts from cars, and my friend Sean, you know Sean, and he's really good. That's all he did was take about cars.
Welcome back. The Todd Tucker Show is on. Hey, this weekend it's going to be really cold. What are you going to do this weekend?
Stay inside and, play video games. The same thing we do every weekend, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
I think I'll be watching some Netflix, maybe.
Netflix and chill.
And some Contour from Cox.
Speaking of Netflix, I just started a TV show I probably should have started a long time ago that is amazing. Have you seen American Vandal?
I have not.
It is fantastic.
What's it about?
So it's like it's almost like a spoof of all the murder shows, like Making a Murderer and things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm sure you've seen previews for it, but it's basically like this kid. Someone at this school went and spray painted a bunch of male genitalia on like 30 cars. Okay. And then this regular troublemaker in the school was framed for it. So like another couple of kids are out making a documentary about it, like Making a Murder and all those like, mystery shows where the documentarians go and try to solve the case.
Right.
But it's just like a school and about drawing a bunch of, junk on cars. And they're going through everything so seriously, but it's just a bunch of high school kids. And they're like getting drunk and doing stuff. It is fantastic. I laughed so hard.
And what did you see this on?
It's on Netflix. It's been on there for a while. There's 2 seasons.
Okay.
The first one's about the cars, and the second one there's like the whole thing. Now you need to watch it. I saw it every now and then, and I never really got into it because I'm like, this looks stupid.
I guess I have to renew my Netflix.
You need to. It is fantastic.
All right. So President Trump's proposed wall across the United States-Mexico border has soared in popularity with American voters across the board. This is great news for the president. Let me just get you some numbers here.
Find me the digits.
Some good news. This is an ABC WAPO poll, by the way.
Okay.
All right. Support for a border wall has increased from 34 to 42%. Among college education, it's up 13 points. Educated, I should say. Among independents, up 11 points. Among Midwesterners, up 14 points. Among 18 to 39-year-olds, 5 points, and among non-whites, up 6 points. Now, this is a poll of nearly 5,000 people.
Okay.
All right. Which is a pretty good, in fact, that's a better than average sample.
Yeah, that's a pretty big sample.
The establishment media and elected Democrats have failed to convince the American public that mass illegal immigration and drug trafficking at the United States-Mexico border is a manufactured crisis. You know how they're saying it's a manufactured crisis?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take a look here. Total people who think it's a crisis, 54%. No, 43%. Now, here's where the yeses come from. With Republicans, they say 86%. It is not a manufactured crisis. It is a definite crisis. Democrats say it is not a crisis. 71% of Democrats say it's a manufactured crisis. And independents say this is a real crisis. 42% say it is a manufactured crisis. So it looks like 54%, and I misspoke when I said 54% say that this is an actual crisis. 43% say it is a manufactured crisis. This is total with everybody included.
Right.
All right. And age and years, 18 to 34-year-olds, 56% say it is a crisis. 39% say no, 6% unsure. 35 to 49-year-olds, 49% say it is a manufactured crisis. 46% say it is a crisis. So it's within the margin of error. 4% undecided. Now, with 50 to 64-year-olds, it's 58% yes, this is a crisis. 40% say it's a manufactured crisis. 2% are undecided. And 65 plus, the geezers that are out there, they say 53% it is a crisis and 43% it is a manufactured crisis.
See, you should keep that because that's like Bill Clinton now. That's what that sounds like. That's like current Bill Clinton.
But I got to get a little more in here. I don't know. I got to work on that.
That first one was great. It was just old man Bill Clinton. It was perfect.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's probably real. I mean, it's probably necessary. It'd just be nice if we weren't having like this big war over it, this big political standoff. You know,
and whose fault is that?
Well, I don't know. It could be a little bit of both. I'm not going to put it all on Democrats because it's just after a certain point, it kind of comes down to this, and this is the way I feel.
You remember the Chuck Schumer speech?
I do, and I know they're playing both sides on this. I get it. They're playing, you know, they're doing their thing. At the same time, I feel like some of this could be avoided if Trump had a little more tact for these things.
Trump and tact. Those are two things that don't go together.
I know,
Frosty.
and that's just the thing that I go with. And that's the only one thing that I really put on him with this shutdown. And this is me. This is a real personal belief of mine. I do believe that the Democrats should work with him a little more. They should work with this to get it set up. At least find a good compromise for it. Damn, come to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't think the situation would be as dire if Trump had a little more tact for these things. And that's why you voted for him, is because he's just an everyday businessman out here doing New Yorker stuff and making people mad. But if he just had a little more tact with this, we maybe, like, this probably wouldn't be as big a deal as it is.
I voted for him because he's a badass.
And that's what a lot of people say. And I mean, you're more than welcome to that. It's just at the same time, I feel like that's what the issue is.
I'm tired of people caving. Okay. All right. You're not going to let me. I mean, this was the centerpiece of his campaign. It was the economy and it was border security. And he said border security is huge for national security. And we've all known that for a long time. Yet we've had every president, including my hero Ronald Reagan, by the way, who was tricked by the Democrats once. Fool me once. You know what they say.
Fool me twice. If you fool me twice, you ain't gonna fool me again,
mm-hmm.
as our good friend Bush would say.
Exactly. You're not going to fool me again. All right. So you've had Bush 41. You've had Clinton. You've had Bush 43. You've had Obama, all schnookered. All of them realized that we need border security, yet none of them did much to do about it or had much to do about it. So I think that what we've got to do now is we've got a president that wants to get it done, and it's going to get done, come hell or high water. Now, what concerns me is we've got air traffic controllers, and we've got TSA, and we've got food inspectors, and we've got all sorts of other jobs. You know, the fact that we don't have people that are inspecting airplanes on a regular basis. We've got the airlines inspecting their own airplanes, and there's not really any oversight. That does concern me. But I really and truly, this is day number 25. I really, truly have confidence that the president is going to put his foot down, that he's going to declare a state of emergency, and that we're eventually going to get the wall built and get the government back in business again. And the Democrats are going to be stood there with their blings in their hands, just standing there. That's really and truly what I think is going to happen. All right, it's already almost 7 o'clock. This is the Todd Tucker Show. A lot of our friends watching today. We appreciate it, too.
Holla, holla.
405-608-4377 if you want to be on the show. We're back right after this.
Them after they cross the border. They get up to the border and we find them and say, go home. Fewer illegal immigrants, higher GDP, more jobs, reduced deficit. Who could oppose that? I don't know of anybody, Madam President, if they care about America. We know that keeping our borders safe from dangerous gang members, drug dealers, and human traffickers is critical. We let cross the border millions who take jobs away from American workers. I want to make it extremely clear that first and foremost, we are committed to ending the waves of illegal immigration that we've seen in the last 30 years. Crossing the border without permission from the government is a crime. When we catch someone crossing the border, prosecute them and deport them, we are solving the crime and punishing the criminal. One of the most effective things we do on the border is turn people back. You don't catch them after they cross the border. They get up to the border and we find them and say, go home. Make no mistake, our border will be secured as a result of this bill. We appropriate $6.5 billion up front in this bill to bolster our security efforts. Now, for days and weeks, I have heard senators who would oppose any immigration bill saying that our bill does not secure the border, as if these $6.5 billion do not count. But don't say it won't do anything to secure the border. History shows that, of course, it will.
That is shutdowns because Democrats will not fund border security.
Right.
That's just false.
Right.
What the Senate approved, Republicans and Democrats, was over $1 billion in border security. It didn't have the wall.
Right.
But it did have border security. So that's just not.
All right, can we let's just get something straight for the audience right now, because this is one of those things that's literally been bothering me, almost ruined my vacation. There is a barrier system all along the southern border. They need more. Anybody who does the reporting, anybody who talks to the people down there doing the work, the men and women, they need more of what the president is increasingly describing as his own idea for a bollard fence. The bollard, I'm sure they're going to see B-roll at some point tonight of what is on the border right now. It is exactly what the president is describing to you, except he's telling you it's his design. So how are the American people supposed to grasp the reality? He says, I want a new wall. There will be no new wall. The Democrats say he's never going to get his wall. But there is a wall that they have agreed to finance in the past, but they're saying they won't agree to finance a new wall.
And the Democrats are saying it's not necessary because there's other ways to attack the problem that are better. Technology.
But is that true? I have you here for that. Who says that a barrier isn't helpful in securing the border? Does anybody?
Sure. There are real arguments that barriers are helpful in certain locations in certain ways. Many experts argue that we don't need as much wall as Trump suggests. We certainly don't need a 30-foot concrete wall that he originally proposed.
That's gone. That's gone with the Mexico pay-for-it idea.
But is it, though? We don't know. He's said on Twitter, I've never abandoned the all-concrete wall, even while saying as well that...
Bureau says he also intends to dramatically boost oil production. The president is under heightened pressure from opposition politicians and foreign leaders urging him to step down and return Venezuela to democratic rule. Keith Peters reporting.
Day 2 of the Los Angeles Teacher.
KZLS Enid, Oklahoma City. Dave Ramsey here.
I'm Alex Jones, inviting you to listen on AM 1640.
The Eagle. Listen to me, Joe Pags, and hear the truth.
ONN News, I'm Sean Carey. Our 28th governor says he is a typical Oklahoma son. Republican Kevin Stitt was sworn into office Monday at the state capitol. In one of his first actions as governor, Kevin Stitt asked the Oklahoma State Banking Department to encourage Oklahoma financial institutions to take practical measures to accommodate customers affected by the partial government shutdown. The banking department says those measures might include making adjustments to existing loans or originating new credit to support immediate cash flow needs. The Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education is asking for a $21 million increase in state funding for next fiscal year for a total of $141.4 million. Thanks to a quick thinking Tecumseh boy, a suspected robber is in custody. Police say they responded to a Family Dollar on Sunday night after a young boy who was there during the robbery was able to run to the bathroom and call.
It's buy two, get three free time all week at Homeland and United Supermarkets. Hickory Country Bacon, Oscar Mayer Basic Lunchables are buy two, get three free. Sargento Shredded Cheese and Chips Ahoy Cookies, buy two, get three free. Also, stock up on Fritos or Cheetos or Chobani Yogurt, all buy two, get three free. You don't want to miss the buy two, get three sales. See the weekly ad for more info. Keep it local. Shop your Homeland and United Supermarkets. Employee owned and operated. Homeland and United Supermarkets, Oklahomans feeding Oklahomans.
Hi, this is Discover Oklahoma's Dean O'Lally with this week's Travel Minute, a list of events from around the state. Come out and enjoy gospel and traditional bluegrass music during the Western Hills Winter Bluegrass Festival, January the 17th through the 19th. The Western Hills Winter Bluegrass Festival, held on the grounds of the beautiful lodge at Sequoia State Park, will feature top bands from Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Colorado, and Missouri. January the 18th and the 19th, cheer on go-kart racers as they compete in the annual Red River Showdown in Duncan. You can take a seat inside the Stevens County Fair and Expo Center for this two-day extreme racing event. And the Oklahoma City Home and Garden Show is an annual three-day event showcasing what's new in home, gardening, remodeling, home decor, and more. And it's going to be held at Oklahoma State Fair Park, January the 18th through the 20th. This Travel Minute is a public service of this station and the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department. For more information, you can always visit us on the web at travelok.com.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 resumes belong to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
Had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
From high above the Northwest Expressway in Oklahoma City, and a flashing object resembling a UFO, it's the Todd Tucker Show on 1640 The Eagle.
Hola, mi amigos. Todd Tucker here. Telephone number 405-608-4377, 405-608-4377. Glad you're with us.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. Do you know much about him?
Not really.
You know, he's extremely liberal. Like, extremely liberal.
Well, he's a New York mayor, right?
Yes. He's from New York. He admitted on Sunday that President Trump won the 2016 election because he understood people were hurting in a way establishment Democrats often have been able to in recent years. He was on DNCNN's State of the Union. De Blasio said his party, as it approaches the 2016 elections, is going through a serious debate. And there are still a lot of moderate voices in the party that didn't learn the lessons of 2016 and are not listening to what the people need in this country. He said Donald Trump spoke to them. I got to be blunt about this, de Blasio said. I remember those 2-minute ads the very last day of the campaign in 2016. Trump's ad seemed like a populist message in a very good sense of the word. Populist. It was speaking to people's pain and challenges. De Blasio added, unfortunately, we could hear that ad and hear in that ad a lot of the negativity we later saw in Donald Trump a lot of the divisiveness, too. See, he couldn't just be nice. He had to go on and attack the president. Hey, Mr. de Blasio, Mr. Mayor, you're attacking my president. But he stressed that Trump understood that life for many working-class Americans was not getting any easier. In the meantime, you know how cool President Trump is? You know the government shutdown's going on and everything, and he had the Clemson football team because they are the national champions. So he had the football team to the White House, which is tradition.
Tradition.
It is tradition. And the Clemson Tigers were there to celebrate their victory over the Alabama Crimson Tide, Alabama, in the big national title game. So they always cater food at the White House, but, you know, with the government shutdown and everything, they didn't have people there to cater it. So what did the president do? He ordered stacks of Big Macs, Quarter Pounders, filet of fish sandwiches, and also Wendy's burgers, salads, Domino's pizzas. And in fact, when the players went in and saw the spread in the White House dining room, they started cheering. The tables were lit with white candles and candelabras. The team made the trip in spite of the major snowstorm. But you should see the pictures. I was looking this morning, and I mean, there are Big Macs everywhere, Quarter Pounders, filet, pizzas. I mean, it is like a spread.
College kid's dream.
And especially a college football player. And you know how much food a big college football player can put back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's food that they're not supposed to eat usually because they're working out and keeping their bodies in shape. But imagine going to the White House and eating a filet of fish or a Big Mac or a Quarter Pounder with the President of the United States. Not to leave out Wendy's salads and burgers. I wonder how many of them actually ate the salads.
They're like, oh, yes, I'll have a salad with this.
It doesn't say if there were any fries there or not. No, there were fries there.
There's got to be, right?
There were fries there. I saw them in the picture. He ordered at least 300 burgers for this occasion and paid for it out of his own pocket. Pretty darn. You have to admit, I don't care who the president is.
That's a good move.
You have to admit, that is pretty darn cool.
That's pretty good.
Regardless of who the president is.
He gets this one.
He was having a great time with them, too. And they were having a great time being there in the East Room. So have you heard about this Representative Steve King from Iowa?
Mm-mm.
House Republican leaders voted yesterday to remove him from all of his assigned committees after he came under fire for his comments about white nationalism. In an interview with the New York Times, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy yesterday announced that the Republican Steering Committee voted not to give King any committee assignments in the current session of Congress. McCarthy, in a statement announcing the decision, called King's comments beneath the dignity of the party of Lincoln and the United States of America. Steve's remarks are beneath the dignity of the party of Lincoln and the United States. His comments will call into question whether he will treat all Americans equally without regard for race and ethnicity. House Republicans are clear. We're all in this together. Oh, it almost makes me think about the dude with the crooked finger. We're all in this together.
We are all in this together, though. That's the truth.
As fellow citizens, we're all in this together, equal before God and the law. As Congressman King's fellow citizens, let us hope and pray earnestly that this action will lead to greater reflection and ultimately change on his part. In the previous session of Congress, King had served on the House Agriculture Committee and Small Business Committees. He also chaired the House Judiciary Subcommittee on the Constitution and Civil Justice and was on his way to becoming a ranking member of that committee in the current session before the steering committee's vote. I don't know what this guy said, but it had to do with white nationalism. Of course, the guy's saying, well, I didn't mean it the way it came out, you know, blah, 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 blah. Sure you didn't, dude. Coming up on Thursday's show. Have we heard from Jacqueline?
Yeah, they'll be here.
So she's here.
9
So Jacqueline's in at 9 o'clock on Thursday morning.
We're going to have a psychic medium.
Yesterday, I told you about my psycho stalker that I've had since the days that I worked at KJ 103 in the 1990s. And she's followed me every place I've gone since and left me voicemails. She was bipolar.
She's a little crazy.
And I had no idea what had happened to her because in the last several months, I had not gotten any hate mail or hate messages from her. So I didn't know what was going on. Well, I found out she died. And I'll tell you how I found out. In case you weren't listening yesterday, I found out because in my dream the other night, I was getting cussed out by this woman.
she was
just out of the blue. Out of the blue.
Okay.
I have a dream and this woman's cussing me out. And she said something to the effect of from the great beyond, or I'm something about I'm not here.
I will haunt you forever.
But it was like, and it was, I mean, the language was I couldn't say these words. The language in my dream, I could not repeat. It was much like the language she would leave on voice messages and in mail that she would send.
Okay.
Okay. So I went ahead and Googled to find out why I hadn't heard from her in a while, why I'm hearing from her in my dreams, and I find out that she's dead. Died last February. So coming up on Thursday, we're going to have Jacqueline try to reach out to her.
Jacqueline, she'll just like recite what they tell her, though. She's going to cuss all over the radio.
She's not going to be able to cuss. See, I'm going to have her write the words down, and then I'll go,
I'll be quick to mute her mic.
You're going to have to, because she cannot. She's going to have to say she's cussing at you, Todd, or she got it all out of her system now. She's going to leave you alone.
Oh, man.
But that's coming up on Thursday's show.
That'll be fantastic.
And I'm not a medium kind of guy. That's not me. I don't do the Ouija board thing.
You're more of a large.
Okay, sure. Extra large, really, but yes. All right, so we're going to take a break.
We'll take a break.
But that's going to be coming up on Thursday's show, 9 o'clock. Jacqueline, who's the medium. By the way, if you have anybody you want to get in touch with, anybody who's gone and is no longer with us.
Now, she is really, really good.
She's extremely good.
She is really, really good. Like, we're not bringing a hack.
She'll make you cry. I mean, you saw she made me cry.
And we had a few phone calls that called in, and she was doing them over the phone, which I thought was had scamish, Like, I'm like, you can't look at someone over the phone. The people she had on the phone were breaking down over what she was saying. It was intense.
So that's coming up on Thursday's show here on the Todd Tucker Show. It's not always about politics, We've got to escape every now and then.
Yep.
We're back right after this on 1640 The Eagle, KZLS. Hey everybody, Todd Tucker here, and everyone who knows me knows I love to read a great book, and right now I'm reading this incredible novel by local author Richard Engel. All you have to do is go to LastAmericanPresident.com and say big right now on this book. The Last American President is a story about political intrigue, romance, betrayal set against the backdrop of the dissolution of the United States of America. It's great reading, and when you go to LastAmericanPresident.com, LastAmericanPresident.com, use the promo code OTU, you're going to save money. And not only that, but half the price comes back to OTU. So half the proceeds from this book come back so you can watch great programming like you see on the OTU Media Network every day. LastAmericanPresident.com. I highly recommend this book. Read it today.
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity, and focus formula with 17 essential supplements. When it matters most. You've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
In the summer of 2018, despite a fierce and well-financed opposition, the state of Oklahoma passed State Question 788, giving the citizens the most open medical marijuana system in the U.S.
The people of Oklahoma spoke last night, and they said they wanted medical marijuana.
Critics tried to frame 788 as being too loosely written, pointing to the bill's lack of qualifying conditions. Proponents countered that the bill would allow maximum access to the widest range of patients. State Question 788 passed by more than 13 points. My friends call me Grumpy. I'm a citizen lobbyist on the front lines of the cannabis revolution in the great state of Oklahoma. I represent not only the 507,000 individuals that voted for medical cannabis, but my fellow citizens who need this medicine. Join us as we travel the state to meet with politicians, activists, business owners, but most importantly, patients.
With all his hair.
Under the Hood, Saturday morning, 6 to 8 on KZLF 40, The Eagle.
Welcome back. It is the Todd Tucker Show on 1640, the Rock and Roll Eagle.
Call.
According to the Wall Street Journal, there's an article. It made it to Drudge. And in fact, the headline is the star with the worst shooting season in NBA history. Would you like to take a guess what team this player is from?
Is it the Thunder?
Why would you automatically assume it is the Thunder?
Because it's relevant. Okay, here, they're the Golden State Warriors.
No, it is the Thunder.
It is the Thunder.
Would you like to guess who it is?
PG-13.
No.
I just learned that one recently. Is it Westbrook?
It is Westbrook.
He has the worst shooting record?
In NBA, yes, this year, for the year.
Sad boys. Sad boys.
Isn't that something? It says the Thunder are built around Westbrook's talent, and that includes Westbrook's propensity for missing three-pointers. They compensate for the former MVP's biggest flaw by surrounding him with elite offensive rebounders like Steven Adams, and it's not a coincidence that Oklahoma City has been a number 1 or number 2 offensive rebounding percentage team for the last 5 seasons. But they're saying that Russell Westbrook, my gosh, this is like terrible. They say he's having the worst shooting season in NBA history.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Please say it's not so. That's terrible.
That is terrible.
Where's our friend Richard Morissette when we need him?
Yeah, right. He'd be in here talking all this stuff. He'd be going after the manager of the Thunder again.
He would be.
How dare you lose KD and fear the beard and etc.
I should try to get him on the phone. Jay-Z's Tidal is under investigation on streaming fraud. Why am I reading this story? This should be your story.
It is a little bit of my story, but go ahead and read it.
No, I'll save it for you.
All right.
Okay, I'll let you do it.
I figured we were still doing politics. It's only 7:30.
I know. We'll do politics some more. I mean, we have to take a break every now and then or my head will explode.
No, fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
So go ahead, Frosty.
So I've been watching a lot of Netflix lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found a TV show on Netflix that's been around for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's called American Vandal, and is the greatest TV show I've seen in like a
You already
year.
talked about this.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
can talk about it again. It is a fantastic TV show, and you should watch it. It's all about drawing Male genitalia on cars.
Yes. I got it the first time.
The whole point of it. Yes, it's incredible.
All right.
Truly the height of a generation of filmmaking prowess. It's a really good show. You need to watch it.
Okay, definitely. So here's a story for you. The majority of American millennials identify as socialist.
That sounds about right.
That's according to surveys by both Reason Roop and Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. That's the bad news. The good news is 32% of millennials can define socialism. 32%. The majority say they're socialist, yet the majority don't know what socialism is.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on what we're defining.
The frequently wrong but never in doubt freshman Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York may indeed be the voice of her ignorant generation. During an interview on CBS's 60 Minutes, Anderson Cooper asked Ocasio-Cortez, when people hear the word socialism, they think Soviet Union, Cuba, Venezuela. Is that what you have in mind? He neglected, of course, to mention vicious social regimes like Cambodia, Ethiopia, Poland, Romania, North Korea, and China, among others. Ocasio-Cortez retorted, of course not. What we have in mind and what my policies mostly resemble what we see in the UK, in Norway, and Finland, and Sweden. In fact, your economic proposals bear little resemblance to British and the Nordic public policy. As early as the 1950s, Britain began to privatize its Social Security and pension programs. By the 1990s, or 1950s, did I say 1990s? I meant to say 1950s. Britain began to privatize its Social Security and pension programs. By the 90s, as decades of socialism caused economic growth to stagnate, Sweden followed suit. Neither Sweden nor Norway mandates a minimum wage, and Britain demands a minimum wage well below Ocasio-Cortez's proposed $15 an hour. Britain and Finland offer a lower corporate tax than the United States, and all the nations she names have lower tax rates than her proposed 28%. Man, she is really a doofus, isn't she?
I think she has good ideas.
Really good ideas.
She just falls into the Trump problem of lacking a little bit of tact.
Anthony, OKC, you're on the Todd Tucker Show. Hey.
Yeah, I was just calling to talk about that Westbrook shooting average.
Oh, let's do it.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, this year his shooting average is not that great. It hasn't been that great in the last couple of years, but I got to give credit to Billy Donovan with great defense he's been bringing in. I mean, Westbrook hasn't shot that great in the last couple of years. I think his best shot is the spot-up jumper from the mid-range, from the free throw line, but he needs to go back to that instead of just driving straight to the hole and losing control of the ball. I mean,
why they got to be picking on Russ in the Wall Street Journal, though?
I don't know. I mean, triple-double man of the year, going on 3 years in a row. I don't know why they pick on this man. I think he's the best top 3 point. I mean, he's one of the best top 3 point guards in the NBA right now.
I would agree. I would agree. Hands down. No question. So, do you think he's going to get it together here before the season's up? Or do you, I mean, I was just sitting here looking. I was like stunned. I'm looking, what?
I mean, listen, Westbrook has carried Oklahoma on his back. I mean, he's going to get it together. He's going to continue to carry us all the way through the playoffs. And I think this year is our year to go ahead and get it. Paul George is doing it. Everybody else is doing it. Look how great our bench is. I mean, we have nothing to complain about. We really don't.
I agree. I totally agree. Thunder up, yo.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right.
All right.
I love the Thunder, but you kids and your sports balls. We need to get Richard Morissette in here to tell us how bad Billy Donovan is at everything.
Oh, he hates Billy Donovan.
Oh, he can't stand him.
He hates Billy Donovan, and he hates Sam Presti.
And then he also hates President Trump. It'd be perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's just what I need. If I want to divert Richard Morissette away from politics, all I do is just say, Billy Donovan.
And then he'll just go off.
And he goes out. His hair goes wild.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah. He goes absolutely bonkers. All right. Thank you, Anthony, for the phone call. This is the Todd Tucker Show. If you want to join us, 405-608-4377, 405-608-4377. We're back right after this on 1640, the Rock and Roll Eagle, KZLS.
Call!
OTAP here from E Pluribus OTAP. Out of many, me. I am America and you can be too. Here to let you know that I'll soon be making my gloriously patriotic return thanks to OTU Media. News and views from a conservative, pro-American point of view. America first, last, and everything in between.
Over 20 years ago, Alex Jones created the media platform called InfoWars, and in the decades since, it's grown into a truly remarkable institution with over 200 radio affiliates, tens of millions of unique website visitors monthly, and a 24/7 live news TV channel broadcasting from state-of-the-art studios in Austin, Texas. InfoWars has become the most trusted independent news source in the country, dedicated to delivering breaking news, live coverage of special events, and exclusive reports you won't find anywhere else. While the old guard media struggles to maintain supremacy in a landscape rocked by innovation and technology, InfoWars has been at the forefront of the information revolution. From 8 million radio listeners, over 2 million YouTube subscribers, or the billions of views of our online content, InfoWars proves dominant in every facet of media we enter. For the hardest-hitting reports, uncompromising analysis, for high-profile interviews and bombshell revelations, accept no substitutes. Demand truth. Demand InfoWars. InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
That is shutdowns because Democrats will not fund border security.
Right.
That's just false.
Right.
What the Senate approved, Republicans and Democrats, was over $1 billion in border security. It didn't have the wall,
Right.
but it did have border security. So that's just not.
All right, can we let's just get something straight for the audience right now, because this is one of those things that's literally been bothering me, almost ruined my vacation. There is a barrier system all along the southern border. They need more. Anybody who does the reporting, anybody who talks to the people down there doing the work, the men and women, they need more of what the president is increasingly describing as his own idea for a bollard fence. The bollard, I'm sure they're going to see B-roll at some point tonight of what is on the border right now. It is exactly what the president is describing to you, except he's telling you it's his design. So how are the American people supposed to grasp the reality? He says, I want a new wall. There will be no new wall. The Democrats say he's never going to get his wall. But there is a wall that they have agreed to finance in the past, but they're saying they won't agree to finance a new wall.
And the Democrats are saying it's not necessary because there's other ways to attack the problem that are better. Technology.
But is that true? I have you here for that. Who says that a barrier isn't helpful in securing the border? Does anybody?
Sure. There are real arguments that barriers are helpful in certain locations in certain ways. Many experts argue that we don't need as much wall as Trump suggests. We certainly don't need a 30-foot concrete wall that he originally proposed.
That's gone. That's gone with the Mexico pay for it.
But is it 30 now? He said on Twitter, I've never abandoned all concrete wall. Even while saying,
welcome back. The Todd Tucker Show, 405-608-4377, 405-608-4377. If you got to go to the inaugural ball last night, give us a call. Tell us about it.
If you went to the ball, give us a call. It was only like $150 a plate, right?
I thought it was $250.
Maybe it was $250. It was more expensive than our blood. We need to get a little press pass and sneak in.
I'm sure we could have gotten in there somehow, but usually I'm sleeping.
Usually.
Usually.
I was also up late last night.
Except I have rude neighbors that don't understand that they've got neighbors down below them. I'm moving.
So, you're moving. I'll tell you the story of my day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, to go back a little further, I went to San Antonio for Christmas.
Right.
All right. I went there, hung out with the wife's family, had an awful time. So did she. And then we came back. Now, the wife's family has been trying to move in with me Yeah, that flipped pretty quick.
Bring the father-in-law that doesn't like you because you're a gringo.
No, the father-in-law's doing fine down there. It's the mother-in-law that was having problems. So the mother-in-law was supposed to come and stay with us in Oklahoma. My mother-in-law and my brother-in-law, so Stephanie's little brother, were supposed to come stay with us, but the mother-in-law duped out at the last second. So now I've only got her little brother with us, which is much easier because I was dreading having to take care of the mother-in-law, you know?
Right.
I'm like, you're a grown woman. Don't make me let you live with me. But so now I've got a new member of my household, and Stephanie got her dog back from San Antonio that her brother had. So
I told you in her horoscope she was going to get a puppy.
So now I've got an extra person living in my house and another dog. I've got 2 dogs and a cat and an extra person.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yes, it never stops. And now I have to go buy him a bed. I have to go spend money. Spend my hard-earned money on other people. I hate it. I want to be selfish.
Let your in-laws buy his bed. You're not his daddy.
They don't have no money. Why do you think he's
Neither
staying with
do
us?
you. We're in radio.
Welcome to my world.
You know what you do? You sleep on the floor on an air mattress.
Listen, I have been over that discussion with the wife, and that is not how this gets to go down. So I've got to go out and
Frosty, you need to put your foot down. You need to put your big boy pants on.
Look, I can only do so much to tell the wife that her 17-year-old brother has to sleep on the floor. Like, I've got to go buy him a bed. Like, that's just something that has to happen.
I would lend the money for the bed. I would say you're going to get a job and pay it back.
I mean, he'll probably get a job and do something with himself, but it's like, I can't just sit here and tell like 17-year-old kids, like, no, I'm not going to buy you a bed. You could sleep on the floor because all this drama going on. You sleep on the floor. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Because I hate where I live. I'm sleeping on the floor right now.
Well, that's your own life choices. That's on you, buddy.
I'm just saying, if I can sleep on the floor, you damn sure can sleep on. I mean, he can sleep on the floor, right?
Right. I wouldn't make him do that.
No, I'm absolutely joking about that.
It's just annoying. I didn't want to have to go out and spend like $200 on a bed.
$200 on a bed? Where the heck are you going to buy the bed? Bed bugs are us?
Well, I don't know. I got to get one. You can buy all sorts of stuff. I get a text that says inflatable mattress. That feels mean. I could do inflatable mattress.
That's what I was saying, an air mattress.
I don't want to do an air mattress. You can get cheap beds on like Craigslist, and I'm just getting him a twin.
Yeah, they're used beds, Frosty. They've got bed bugs and stuff that you're bringing into your home.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, well.
But who knows? I don't think it'll bring in bed bugs. I just need a nice used bed.
Governor Stitt yesterday did a phenomenal job with his inaugural address. I was very, very impressed, and I was impressed at the way that he reached out and talked about community. He talked about how the churches and the schools and the nonprofits need to come together to make Oklahoma a better place to live. He didn't say anything about government. In fact, he said state government is not the solution to our problems. Can we play some of the governor's inaugural address yesterday, Frosty, for those who missed it last hour?
Yeah, we can. Just roll from the start.
Let's roll. Governor Kevin Stitt.
It is now my great privilege to introduce the Honorable J. Kevin Stitt, 28th Governor of the great state of Oklahoma.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you. Please have a seat. Thank you, Corbin. Thank you, Pro Tem Greg Treat, Speaker Charles McCall, and members of the legislature. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell, and congratulations to all statewide elected officials. I look forward to rolling up my sleeves and working with you on the important tasks we have ahead to make Oklahoma a top 10 state. Honored guests, friends, and my fellow Oklahomans, it is with deep gratitude and thanks to my Heavenly Father and with determination in my heart that I stand before you today. You see, I'm a pretty typical Oklahoma son, like so many of you. I moved around a little bit as a kid. I attended first grade in Wayne, Oklahoma, population 700. And then I graduated from Norman High School. I spent many summers in Skytook helping my grandparents on their dairy farm. And I spent Sundays in church listening to my dad preach. My dad raised me and my 2 brothers to believe we could do anything we put our minds to. He would tell us, don't ever give up. Don't ever quit. The future doesn't just happen, you make it happen. So dream big. These words have echoed in my mind through many sleepless nights over the past 20 years while building an Oklahoma company with my wife and raising our family that we love dearly. It wasn't easy. We took great risks as a family. We made hard decisions. We sacrificed. We weathered difficult times, and we learned from each other, from our employees, and from our community. 2 years ago, the idea of running for governor was still just a small mustard seed. I traveled the country visiting my offices in other states, seeing their economies take off and thrive. They were recovering from our nation's historic recession. I would then come home to the state that I love to find us struggling, stuck at the bottom in every category that matters. And we don't have to relive the past few years. Everyone was touched by it. But it was this environment that caused me to reach deep and ask, what more can I do to make a difference, to address a pattern seen throughout our state history, from the Dust Bowls of the 1930s to the oil glut of the 1980s, where we have lived for each boom and we've starved in each bust. Like you, I was frustrated. Like you, I am motivated. I see untapped potential. I see opportunity. I see great men and women around me. I see promises to be kept. I see jobs. I see progress. I see a top 10 Oklahoma. I know it's possible because I spent the past 18 months traveling the state, listening to Oklahomans in all 77 counties, holding more than 300 town halls, knocking on the doors of strangers, and learning the platform and the mandate that Oklahomans wanted for their next governor.
And that was one of the things that I heard in interviews that were held after the governor's inaugural address, and that is that they really do like the fact that Governor Stitt listens. He went on these listening tours, and they said that he was just really a guy. The reason they voted for him and the reason that they're excited about him being governor is because he listens. And as I mentioned, he talked about community. He talked about schools working with churches and nonprofits, which is a great idea. Communities do work well together when we come together. Government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem. And so when we come together, and the fact that we've got two leaders, one for our state and one for our country, our president echoes these sentiments because government is not the solution to our problem. Government gets in the way. If we just ask it to stay out of the way, things go so much smoother. But when we ask for government to get bigger, it's just like with the Department of Education and the Department of Homeland Security. Yes, there's a need for Homeland Security, but did that bureaucracy need to be created, or could it have been something that fell under another department, such as the Treasury, which had the Secret Service at the time? Here's another question I have. Why haven't we gotten rid of the Department of Education on a national scale? Because education belongs on the state and the local level, not on the federal level. This was a Jimmy Carter brainchild. We work together, and it's great to have a president, our president, who stands for less government. And more people, more power to the people. Give people more of what they make, give people back what they earn, and watch them spend it. Watch them invest it in the economy. And we've got a governor now. Our governor does the same thing. Watch. It's going to happen. Oklahoma has some bright days ahead. I just have this feeling. Now, I didn't vote for Kevin Stitt in the primary. In fact, I was very critical of Kevin Stitt. But I'll admit when I'm wrong. And as of right now, I feel like I was wrong. I wasn't wrong in supporting who I supported at the time, because I feel like he would have been a great governor as well. But after the fact, I feel like I can continued to be hard on Kevin Stitt, and the reality is Kevin Stitt, I believe, is going to make a great leader for our state. Sometimes things end up the way, just like I was for Ted Cruz in the 2016 primary. I was a hardcore Ted Cruz fan. Worked on his campaign, went to see him a couple of times. Love Ted Cruz, still love him to this day. But I will be the first to tell you that Ted Cruz was not the man for the job at this time. It was Donald Trump. We need Ted Cruz in the Senate and maybe on the Supreme Court. I'm just saying, if something happens to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and word is she may be retiring soon, Ted Cruz would make a great leader on the Supreme Court. Of course, the Senate would never get him through. That would be horrendous. Who's going to want that job? That's another thing. If Ruth Bader Ginsburg does retire, who the hell wants to go through that scrutiny? Frosty, would you want to have to go back to your high school yearbooks and things that you did when you were 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old?
Somebody would come out to talk about, what Frosty did in high school. I couldn't stand that. No, you're right. I don't know who would want to go through that.
And don't you think it's terrible that now we live in a country where we should be ready, willing, and able to serve. But now we're going to be afraid to, because we're going to be afraid of what people are going to dig up on us, because everybody has done something in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. I don't care who you are. You either stood for something when you should have stood for this, or you did this when you should have done this, or you may have gotten in a little bit of trouble, or maybe you stole a piece of bubble gum and that disqualifies you. It's ridiculous. So who would want to be on the Supreme Court? That's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know who would want that job anymore.
This is the Todd Tucker Show. Phone number 405-608-4377, 405-608-4377. We'll talk about whatever you want to. By the way, if you were at the inauguration yesterday, we would love to hear from you and hear about your experience. We're back right after this.